several challenges could stand in his way.
Plus, with millions set aside to keep the border safe, how much will go to new, improved technology?
And ever wonder what it takes to get a baseball field ready for spring training? We've got your front row seat to Tempe Diablo Stadium as the grounds crew prepares for players to report.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Sammy Giebers.
And I'm Austin Bundy. Thank you for joining us. National emergency declared. President Trump signed a bill funding the government and declared a national emergency to get the money needed to build a wall along the southern border.
But even the president admits the process won't be easy. Congress authorized $1.375 billion to build a barrier along 55 miles of the southern border. The president signed that deal, but it's not enough. By a series of actions, including declaring a national emergency, the president is able to redirect more than $6 billion from federal funds, including the Defense and Treasury Departments, giving President Trump more than $8 billion for a wall.
In a joint statement, Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer called the move, quote, a power grab by a disappointed president who has gone outside the bounds of the law. As Democrats denounce the declaration and vow a fight, Trump is standing by his decision, saying his top military officials gave him the okay.
We had certain funds that are being used at the discretion of generals, at the discretion of the military. Some of them haven't been allocated yet, and some of the generals think that this is more important. I was speaking to a couple of them. They think this is far more important than what they were going to use it for. I said, what were you going to use it for? And I won't go into details, but didn't sound too important to me.
I talked to several experts about the possibility of President Trump declaring a national emergency to get the wall built. They brought up several challenges that he will now have to overcome.
We're talking about an invasion of our country with drugs, with human traffickers, with all types of criminals and gangs.
According to Professor William Banks of the Institute for National Security and Counterterrorism, quote, military construction authorities allow the president to reallocate some authorized funds, but only for a military purpose. The president would have to prove that the invasion is truly a military threat.
I could do the wall over a longer period of time. I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster.
Although it's not a legal requirement, Liza Goitein of the Brennan Center for Justice in Washington, D.C. said, quote, in a true emergency, the president would declare the emergency immediately because Congress doesn't have the time to act. She said the border problem is neither immediate nor has Congress had zero time to act. You can read the full story on cronkitenews.azpbs.org. Many questions have been raised as to whether or not it is legal for President Trump to declare a national emergency for the border wall. Reporter John Cardinelli has more information. John?
Already, the ACLU and the governor of California say they would file a lawsuit over the declaration. I spoke with John Michaels, a professor of law at UCLA, as well as Bruce Ackerman, a constitutional law scholar at Yale University, both of them offering valuable insight on what the future may hold. Within a national emergency declaration, the president is given powers he normally doesn't have. He's allowed to invoke certain federal laws. Michael says one of those allows the Secretary of the Army to divert civil works resources to construction that is essential to national defense. However, according to Ackerman, this code only applies to issues outside of the United States. Both say Congress could overturn the national emergency declaration, but it would require a 2/3 approval vote. In the newsroom, John Cardinelli, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News reporters both here and in our Washington, D.C. bureau are gathering reaction to the border wall announcement. Here's some of what our U.S. representatives in Congress had to say. Republican Representative Andy Biggs tweeted, in part, "It's not the big deal that Democrats are claiming. In some scenarios, Congress has delegated this authority to him." Democratic Representative Tom O'Halloran put out a statement saying, "We must act to secure our border, but this is not the way it should be done. We should put aside partisanship and work together to fund 21st century border security technology and fill the thousands of Border Patrol vacancies at our borders." We also caught up with two voices on both sides of this issue, one here and one in D.C.
Honestly, I can't even take him seriously. It is a fabricated crisis. We have real issues across the United States. All we have to look is Arizona. We have a crisis with our education system, with affordable housing, with people not being able to take care of their health care needs.
A lot of the, how shall I put it, hysteria on the Hill over this is absolutely absurd because there are Democrat presidents that have done virtually the same thing in slightly different circumstances.
O'Brien also explained the national emergency declaration has been used by presidents 58 times since it was enacted back in 1976. 31 of those are still active.
The budget sent to President Trump had millions set aside for border protection. But where does that money actually go? Cronkite News reporter Gabriela Becerra spent a day with Border Patrol officers in Nogales to see what efforts go into keeping the border safe.
There are two main ports of entry in Nogales, the DeConcini port and the Mariposa port. They are both incredibly busy, and CBP officers don't see that changing anytime soon. While the wall gets all the attention, the everyday work at the border goes on.
Every day I show up to work and we get our assignments of where we're going to be.
With almost 3 million people crossing back and forth between the United States and Mexico through the port of Nogales since October, Officer Joseph Harris is always busy.
We're either processing traffic in primary or we're processing them in secondary, processing people on buses, on planes.
His job is to check and process people into the United States, making sure they don't bring in illegal substances.
It shows that you have a bigger purpose than just processing traffic through the port of entry. I mean, you're actually trying to stop really dangerous drugs from coming into the country.
According to CBP, during the first 11 months of fiscal year 2018, more than 80% of the most dangerous drugs came through legal ports of entry. Last month, CBP officers intercepted a load with a record-breaking 395 pounds of methamphetamine and 254 pounds of fentanyl.
It's crazy. I mean, they said it could kill 57 million people. I mean, that's a lot of fentanyl.
It was in a trailer of a commercial vehicle, and it was targeted by our inspectional assets. We ran a canine on it. We also used our X-ray capability.
When politicians talk about methods other than walls to tackle problems at the border, they are often talking about technologies like the ones used to find these drugs. This is an example of one of the many technologies used here at the Mariposa port of entry. The passengers are unloaded before the driver drives through the ZEEP portal scan, where it will check for contraband before entering the U.S. In the latest budget, more than $1.7 billion was set aside for new technology and almost $1.4 billion for border barriers. Still, CBP officers say nothing beats basic police work and human intuition when it comes to catching criminals.
Just matching the driver to the vehicle, matching the crossings. I mean, there's tons of different things about every vehicle. Maybe it looks a little clean, maybe, some things are tampered with.
Even with all of these different methods, Harris says drugs are still entering the U.S.
We're not getting even a small piece of what they're bringing through. I think us utilizing this technology does help a lot, but I also think there's just a lot of drugs that are coming through.
Harris doesn't see his busy work days easing up anytime soon.
There really actually is a big problem, and we're doing everything we can to stop it.
Under the new budget deal, Customs and Border Patrol could hire as many as 1,200 new Border Patrol officers. In the broadcast center, Gabriela Becerra, Cronkite News.
The Supreme Court will decide whether the 2020 census can include a question about citizenship. The justices have agreed to fast-track the review of a lower court ruling. That decision blocked the Trump administration from adding the citizenship question to the census. Arguments will take place in late April. A decision should come by late June. Many of us here in the Valley woke up to a surprise this morning: fog. Some people took to Twitter to share the photos of the rare sight. Paul Taylor tweeted this photo of the fog, saying it feels like crossing the Golden Gate Bridge. And meteorologist Matt Pace tweeted this time-lapse video of the fog rolling into the valley after yesterday's winter storm.
Almost all of the valley saw rain yesterday, and a little rain this morning, too.
Bane Froney is tracking our weekend weather forecast.
Guys, I cannot believe how much fog we had this morning. It was crazy, but it's all cleared up right now. But we are seeing some clouds right now. If we can take a look, right now we're still seeing some overcast skies, but that's going to, as the day continues, it's going to be heating up, and that'll be quickly disappearing. Right now we're at 67 degrees at our temperature as our high for the whole day. And then up in the north, they're seeing temperatures of about 40 to 50 degrees. So they are heating up as well. As we continue throughout the evening, we're going to be seeing temperatures dropping down to 46 degrees tonight. So if you're heading out tonight, definitely prepare for that nice weather change. For the rest of the weekend, do expect to see some overcast skies Saturday and Sunday, a high of 61 on Saturday and 58 on Sunday. We are a little bit below average. As you can see, our average high for the week is 71, and we're going to be seeing 50s throughout the rest of the week, as you can tell. We will be seeing that sunshine Wednesday through Thursday again, but then covering that sky with some clouds on Friday. In the Weather Center, I'm Bane Ferroni.
Ever wonder what it takes to get a baseball field ready for spring training? Taylor Rocha takes you behind the scenes with the grounds crew at Tempe Diablo Stadium as they prepare for players reporting this week.
During spring training, the players arrived to the ballpark by sunrise in order to make the most of their days in the desert before the start of the regular season. For the grounds crew at Tempe Diablo Stadium, spring comes with an even earlier wake-up call.
It's about a 12-hour day. Everyone thinks that it's just cutting grass, which is not the case at all.
The job entails raking base paths, leveling and watering the infield, maintaining the pitcher's mound, home plate, bullpen areas, and much more, including keeping chaos to a minimum when it rains.
For fields, it's very particular. You'll be surprised at the very detail we put into these fields.
Execution of these details is about as high stakes as bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth in a tie game.
One little miscue can cost a team even more money if it, there's like an error on the field just due to our field maintenance. So we put a lot into that.
Castillo predicts that field maintenance for spring training alone can cost upwards of $500,000. As the backdrop of Major League Baseball, a $1.65 billion industry according to Forbes, this is a small price to pay to ensure that the players are able to do their job.
And they're multi-million-dollar athletes that, are at risk. So you got to make sure everything's prime and up to shape so, they can make good plays.
For now, it's a lonely job, but when the team reports...
There's some really cool ones, especially like Mike Trout, Josh Hamilton when he was here. Albert Pujols is a really cool guy. They're always coming up to us saying thanks, appreciate everything you do for us.
Built in 1969, Tempe Diablo Stadium is the oldest stadium in the Cactus League. In Tempe, Taylor Rocha, Cronkite News.
Overcrowding has been a problem animal shelters nationwide have dealt with for years.
Up next on Cronkite News, an extensive look at the mission shelters in our state are on to save dogs' lives.
And the inspiring story of how 3 children adopted from Haiti became all-star athletes in Arizona and changed their parents' lives for the better.
Stay in the know on the go. At Cronkite News, we work hard to report the facts and keep you updated, whether we're on set or on the scene.
Taking it from the studio to the field.
So I'm here in South Phoenix.
In Phoenix, we're just a click away. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
I started watching Horizon. It was all about local, detailed information, interviewing representatives, the debates. It was all local, and having moved here from Minnesota, I really didn't have a lay of the land, so it was a way to get details on the new state I'd moved to, and I liked it. It wasn't combative, it was informative. It was just, here's the facts. That sucked me in quite quickly.
For more information about including Arizona PBS in your future plans, visit azpbs.org/giving.
Tonight, Cronkite News is doing a deep dive into how Maricopa County's animal shelters are dealing with overcrowding in an effort to save lives. Producers Serena O'Sullivan, Oscar Agredano, Sydney Schwartz, and Penelope Price report.
It's just overwhelming. They never stop coming. The only thing familiar is there are people here. They get food here, but it is just completely confusing to them.
We tend to be overcrowded all the time. I can tell you that I worked as a reporter in this market for almost 10 years, and I probably called this agency twice in 10 years because I had the mentality that this is where dogs go to die.
Right now, this is a standard Monday. There are 17 open kennels. He has just got a shipment of 25 dogs. What the hell is he supposed to do? When will the journalists, when do they want to take a look at this problem? When do our elected officials want to take a look at this problem? Because it is a problem.
As little as 3 years ago, anywhere from 80 to 100 animals were being put down every single day. As far as aggression is concerned, that comes from being in a shelter environment. They come from the streets, they're in a strange environment, they're around strange animals, they're around people that are constantly in their faces, and they can sometimes become aggressive. Right now, we're teetering right around the 900 mark as far as animals are concerned. We've seen upwards of 1,000, 1,100. I remember when I started, we had 1,200 at one point. That's not something that we want or can do.
When the breeding in Maricopa County is disgusting, and that we see the parent animals dumped here when the breeders are done with them, just dumped like trash.
They have dogs in the backyard and they're just baby factories. That's just adding to the overpopulation in the area. A lot of people think that because we're a government agency that we are fully funded by the county, and that's not the case. It costs us $16 million a year to run this facility, and we only get $750,000 from our taxpayers. When we're in a situation like we're in right now, we'll reach out to some of our partners in the area and tell them we need help. There's a lot of different animal welfare organizations out there that help us tremendously. We work with a group called the Arizona Animal Rescue Mission.
So ARM was founded by Lisa Klimczak back in 2014. We became a non-traditional group. What we ended up doing was saying we're going to take our resources, our money, our time, and try and help out the county shelters. When you have an intake of over 30,000 animals a year, the county shelter is going to need all the help they can get. What we do is we tell the county we're going to give you $10,000. And what we want is we want to sponsor the dogs that don't get a lot of attention. We want the big dogs, the dogs that have been here a while. We want people to know that those dogs are wonderful dogs too. So from our perspective, we tend to sponsor those dogs. And we'll pay those fees. Any fees, ARM will take care of them. And what that does is it generates news stories, it generates excitement. People are excited to come see the dogs. When they hear about our overcrowding problem, most people are kind-hearted, and there's an emotional response to, hey, look, guys, we're out of room. What do you want us to do? It's a community shelter. Community, what do you want us to do? So ARM, from our perspective, we're happy to sponsor those events because it generates the publicity that we need to get dogs out of here.
When we do have these adoption events that our lobby is full, there's lines going around the building, dogs are living and not dying. Before, since we are a government agency, we were run by people that didn't really have animal welfare in their background. So for them, they were just trying to run the facility as a government agency. The county decided this is not a typical government agency. This is an agency that deals with living, breathing things, so we need to bring somebody who's an expert in those areas.
I've been doing behavior work off and on since 1995. We do what we're calling behavior enrichment. We do assessments of the dogs as best we can to see what we see right today, and then we try to help them be okay here. It's just a very difficult place for them, so we try to do things to help them cope. Well, we do the drive-bys, so, somebody's coming with some treats. We give them things to chew on. We have something called speed dating, which is they get out of their kennels to visit with a person. Some people can do walks when the weather is not dreadfully hot. We do play groups. We have to do a really good job of keeping them kind of adoptable while they're here, and then everybody works feverishly to try to get them out. That is a very hopeful thing. I just think we can't overstate the value of the community helping us and the value of the commitment of the staff.
We're really encouraging more volunteers. Volunteering is always necessary.
I used to drive by here on my work commute, and I used to feel ashamed every time I'd drive by here. I go, you probably could be volunteering there. You probably could be doing something, you lazy piece of crap. And eventually that voice in my head got me to attend a volunteer orientation session. So there's opportunities to make an impact for these dogs. I wish more people knew it. If people could give up one Netflix episode a day and come walk dogs, if we had 50 people who could say, I'm gonna come walk dogs for an hour a week, we would save so many dogs' lives. Just the chance that these dogs get to interact with humans and know that humans care about them and that they're not alone in this scary, loud, terrifying place.
We've evolved together, and they are domestic animals that need to be in a home.
Maricopa County has the opportunity to set the standard for the rest of the United States in terms of being a turnaround story. We're already on the way there. We're already on the way there. The question is, how quickly will we turn around the story? And it's up to us as a community to decide.
Santiago says in 2018, the county shelters took in about 28,000 animals. He adds these shelters are not considered no-kill facilities. Severely sick and overly aggressive animals are put down.
From Haiti to high school sports stars, Cronkite News reporter Jake Trybulski introduces us to a Valley family whose decision to adopt is making a difference locally and globally.
Family is not defined by blood, rather by love. For Kathy and Craig Juntanen, a motto to live by. The Phoenix couple who seemingly had it all after building a successful consulting firm retired in 1998 to ride off into the sunset. However, a 2005 conversation with a friend on a golf course sparked curiosity for Craig and changed their lives forever.
I was fascinated with two things. One, what does the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere really look like? What does that mean? Because we were living a very privileged life that we were lucky enough to stumble onto. And the other thing was this adoption thing. What would that be like? I went home that night and Kath and I went out to dinner and the words, "I'm going to Haiti," just spewed out.
Kathy told Craig he could go under two conditions: do not die and do not fall in love with any children quite yet.
So I succeeded on the not getting killed part, but I did fall in love with 3 kids.
A year later, first-time parents 51-year-old Craig and 48-year-old Kathy adopted those 3 Haitian orphans, 9-month-old Quinn, and 2 future high school sports stars, Amalek then age 5 and Espy, age 4.
We were riding back from the airport that very first night. They could not believe the city lights. I mean, they were just, their mouths were like open,
Yeah, they'd come from a village with no electricity. And it was a very poignant and beautiful moment because it really was symbolic of all of those lights were all of the opportunities and possibilities ahead for all of us.
Fast forward 12 years, Pinnacle senior linebacker Amalek has accepted a scholarship offer to play football at Northern Arizona University, a school he's had his eye on for quite a while.
We have a cabin up there about 11 years now, so we just always watch their games, and that's where I wanted to play.
Junior honor roll student Espy runs varsity cross country and track and has dreams of competing at the next level as well.
I would love to run in college. I run a lot of the sprinting events, so I run the 100, 200, 400. This year I would like to try the 300 hurdles and possibly 800.
And both Amalek and Espy set the standards for their teams.
Wish you could have a team full of Espy. She's wonderful. Just work ethic, the camaraderie with her teammates, gets along with everybody, and leads by example.
I would wish we have, a team full of Amaleks in terms of his leadership. He is the example
Amalek's leadership shows on the stat sheet as well as he leads the Pioneers in tackles, in addition to being team captain.
And it's funny, like we didn't elect him as the captain, the kids do. Everybody really kind of looks to see, hey, what's Amalek doing? You know, how can we be like Amalek?
Ask about Espy's character, you hear much of the same.
I think she deserves to be captain next year.
And through it all, the duo has maintained a close relationship in true sibling form.
Do you guys have a close relationship as brother and sister?
That's you.
I like to think we do. I mean, I consider him my friend. I don't know if he considers me his friend, but I think so.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. I don't know why she keeps saying that, but...
We have a period together, so like he can't avoid me.
Amalek and Espy have made quite the impact here at Pinnacle High School, but they continue to make an even larger impact on people's lives thousands of miles away. Citing their own kids as inspiration, Kathy and Craig started Chances for Children in 2006, a foundation helping Haitian orphans find hope for a better life.
Every child's, their childhood is sacred, no matter where they're born.
We especially believe that every child deserves a family.
There is currently an orphan epidemic in Haiti, with many kids fighting to live another day. Chances for Children addresses survival with things like clean water, food, education, and medical care, but also gives families the basic tools of employment so parents can care for their kids.
I'm super proud of my parents and what they've done. Not a whole lot of people can do that.
From the pressure of building a business to no stress at all in retirement, to the responsibility of raising 3 children while creating a charitable foundation, the Jutnans have experienced a lot. But when you enter their home, you don't see worry, but rather a family.
The truth is, it's exactly like every other family, and there is
same struggles,
same
highs, same lows.
Yeah, there is no asterisk next to our family.
In Phoenix, Jake Trybulski, Cronkite Sports Report.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Hospice of the Valley, medical, social, and spiritual care for patients nearing end of life, and support for their families. A not-for-profit community hospice, HOV.org.
Support comes from the Arizona Renaissance Festival. The annual festival for the whole family returns to its village near Florence Junction, weekends through March 31st. Tickets and directions are available at Fry's and at renfestinfo.com.
Join moderator Robert Costa
When I was at the Capitol this week,
and a panel of award-winning journalists.
You're seeing a divided nation, and you're seeing
for insights and perspective
Tonight there was a key development in the Senate.
You won't find anywhere else.
What a week.
Washington Week.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS.